Hello, and this is the last part of the week 7 video lecture in which we're going to talk about primary research and the first part of project 3, essentially, which is an outline, and that follows the pattern of our other projects. So we click on understanding concepts, and it talks about making choices for project 3 beyond just the topic. You need to focus on a particular place, like I talked about in the last lecture, and that your audience, it shouldn't, okay, I shouldn't have put audience there. So when you're thinking of an impacted population to assess, the impacted population are consumers. This problem's affecting them, or voters. You need to get more distinct than that by pairing maybe a demographic with it, or it's their first time voting, where they live, what kind of neighborhood. So you're thinking of a distinct impacted population, and they need to live, you're dropping a pin on a map in a certain county, in a certain city, or at a certain organization. So once you have your topic and you know who impacted population, who is it affecting the most and where, you have a very big part of project 3 ready to go. And you're in a good spot for project 4, which wants you to focus on solving a localized problem. And because a lot of your academic and professional interests are going to ask you for real world solutions and problems, you should start practicing with a project such as this. And in terms of audience, I think we discussed it in the last video lecture. I did really get ahead of myself, that the audience for the memo, the research memo you're creating, needs to be a higher authority that you pretend you're working for. You're telling them, okay, here's this problem, and then it's affecting this type of group in that city or place. So you're deciding, because of your topic and kind of your own academic interest, you're deciding, oh, this is the type of group I would probably be addressing as my boss. And you can make it up. But because you are also, you're looking at a specific community, primary research is essential because you don't know how Tampa Bay residents feel about, your topic. And that's why you need to go on something like Trustpilot or Twitter, or interview a professional in that field with that topic to really get a sense of what's going on in a current way. Because when you look up other sources, you look up the secondary sources, Smith and Johnson and Hussein and Fields say this about it. Yes, but we can see they said it in 2016, but what's going on right now? What's going on these days? And this student created this, I think, 2019. So they had reviews from that year that could give them a for instance about the topic. And that's why primary research is essential to workplace research. It gives you that relevance, the exigence for that rhetorical type of situation, the kairos, that timeliness. And you have access to that link that I showed you, primary research, in the last video lecture. And then we also have another one here. Oh, I'll have to fix these links actually. That give you a a play-by-play of how to use things like Omni-Site Tweet Map to look at how people are feeling and why that's important. And to realize even if a tweet is not telling the truth, the feeling behind it can still be relevant to your topic and the problem. And you can acknowledge that it's not the truth, but that there's still pathos and emotion, and people feel there's a reality there that might not be true. We can think of real world examples of that, but it still can lead to, actual things that happen, despite the truth or not the truth of what we see on social media. There's that worksheet. The other one that should have opened up told you more about Voyant tools and how you could use it to analyze text-based reviews. But I'll update that link by the time the module opens. I hope I remember to anyway. We're going to go out to the module again to look at the research summary project instruction so we more fully understand what we're doing. That you're tasked to solve a workplace type of problem in a professional capacity. So it should be a professional sort of type problem or societal type of problem that can actually be solved. So even though you're not looking to solve a certain problem, it shouldn't be an abstract problem like abortion. Because how are you going to solve that? Something that has so much pathos behind it, abortion, death penalty, euthanasia, kind of dead end topics. And that, I mean, that's not a great way to put that, but dead end topics in terms of people may never agree on them. And they're just topics that are go-to topics for students who have no idea what they're doing. Those type of topics are not right for Project 3, and the type of real world research you're going to do for them you're never going to get there. So you need to choose something that means something to your database in some way, ties into your database, and that the topic, you can drop a pin on a map to start researching on it rather quickly. And if that one doesn't work, you try a different city or a different neighborhood or something. And this is the basic outline of your memo, the basic sections, not including an intro and a conclusion of sorts, which every memo should have. Acknowledging that you can get your information from these types of sources, and even if a source like a newspaper or something, it's not a peer-reviewed source. In terms of workplace research, it's still relevant. And especially if it was printed like yesterday, it's still relevant, especially for pathos or how it could help you lay out the problem on the memo. And that later, just like you had to create 2 deliverables for Project 2, you have to create 2 deliverables for Project 3, but I will let you know when each of those little tiny additional deliverables are due. And just because I'm asking you to do the outline or the rough draft, that does not mean you also have to have the progress report ready to go. But later, I'm going to ask for an update of sorts, sort of like your higher authority would at your job. Where are you on the primary research and such? And you'll put that into a progress report for later. Back out to the module, we see that we have a 5-point research-based exercise to complete in which you look at examples and you just choose one of them and you answer these questions about them. Because you do have to worry about MLA and APA formatting, you open up whatever template you have and you copy and paste those questions. You put them into Times New Roman. It's not going to do it for me. And then you upload it by February 26th at 11:59 p.m. And it's to give you an idea of what other research summaries should look like for. And now that you have all this exhaustive information, now I want to see what your topic is. And I want to see what kind of primary research you've decided on. And to do that, you need to first open up this worksheet. And you need to answer questions 1 through 5. You don't have to read the rest, but you could. Oh, this is the worksheet, which if you keep reading, tells you how you can gather up a bunch of reviews and run the text through Voyant tools, and then how to analyze it for use in the project. So you're going to answer questions 1 through 5 on that worksheet. And then here are additional questions for you to answer. You're hitting reply. And then I have tips down here to help you answer some of those questions on the worksheet if you don't quite get what to do. And then if you do decide to, I'm going to do a survey, get on it as soon as you can in terms of posting it to places. And here's a doc, if you open it up, in which you can post your survey links, and it will be open to all my classes. So you're going to see some from 3250 and maybe some from 1102, because I think they have to also do something similar to y'all. And just kind of put what your survey is about very quickly, and then the link, and it should be shareable and accessible so people can open it without requesting your access. And it helps to just pay it forward. If you post it here, then know that you should maybe check it later and go take everybody else's survey. And I'll try to send out a reminder like, look at the survey doc. Even if you haven't posted a survey here, it helps people if you go through it and you answer some of the survey questions for them. And this is also where I'm going to approve of your topic. I was talking about a real world topic and picking one that's not a dead end topic. If you give me a bullshit topic, I'm going to tell you no. If you argue with me on the issue, I might even give you a 0 for this assignment because you're not meeting the expectation which I've outlined here. And I think that's happened with one student over all the years. They didn't like that I negated their topic choice, and they got a 0. But that won't be you, because you're going to pick an awesome topic, or if you don't, we'll work through it and you'll choose something a little different and we'll move on. So if you have a question, you reach out to me or Ashlyn, and I hope you have a good week.